All right, coming to a nice, comfortable seat. Let's just give the shoulders a nice little roll out. Always feels good to start the yoga practice. And just kind of noticing how tight they feel, how crunchy they might be. And let's roll forward a few times. Good, and then back again. And then just allow them to press back, release down. So there's a gentle squeezing of the shoulder blades in towards each other. You feel this openness across your heart and chest. Peek forward. Just notice that your feet are about hip distance apart. You're landing with your knees over your ankles. Feel your sit bones pressing down into your chair. Take your hands to your thighs if they're not there already. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Again, smooth, full, deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Final time here. Big, full, deep inhale. Sip in some air. And then see if you can sip in a little more. Sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Notice if your shoulders got tight, if they started to scrunch up around your ears, just soften them down. And then you seal your lips. And we start to find that inhale through our noses and that exhale through our noses. Listening to that sound of your breath, let it be soothing, let it be calming. You'll notice from time to time that your attention wanders. You get distracted by sounds happening in the room that you're in. Get distracted by thoughts coming in and out of your mind. That's all okay. But when you notice that your attention has wavered, you just bring it back to that sound of your breath. Some days you're going to find that this is easier to do. Some days it's a little more tricky. But you're going to find those moments of stringing together some quiet. It gets a little longer. So just a few more moments here. I'm going to zip it so we can just enjoy the stillness. Good. So just release your hands by your sides. You can gently blink the eyes open. As you inhale, reach out and up. And then as you exhale, turn the palms out like you're moving through molasses. Exhale, release down. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling, palms face up. Giving yourself a little resistance here as you reach up. Find all of that length through the sides of the waist, and then exhale. One more time here. Inhaling, reaching up. Maybe this time gaze up. Press palms. And then exhale, release out and down. Keep that, that sense of really working in your arms. So you're firming muscle to bone. Inhale, stretch forward. So just palms facing towards each other. And exhale again. It's like you're moving something through something that's giving you just a little resistance. Couple more times like this. Inhaling, reaching forward and up. Exhale, reaching forward and down. You're kind of widening across your shoulder blades, your scapula, creating a little space in the back, the lower mid back. Inhale. And exhale. Release down. And then let's just do that. Coordinate it together. So inhaling, arms out and up. Good. Exhale. Out and down. Inhale, forward and up. Good. Exhale, forward and down. All right, spin the palms to face open. Inhale, out and up. And then keep the palms spinning towards each other this time. Exhale, forward and down. Good. Inhale, forward and up. Good. Spin the palms to face out. Exhale. Beautiful. One more round. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, out and down. Might feel the shoulders warming up. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Good. Spin the palms open. Inhale, out and up. And then keep those palms facing towards each other. Exhale, forward and down. Really nice. Inhale, we reach forward and up again. Good. And then find that internal rotation at the shoulder socket. Exhale. Out and down. Bring your hands to your thighs. And let's just start to make some circles around in the hips. I dare you both to do this at graduation at Red Rock. See if you can get the crowd involved. All the kids will be like crazy old people. All right, and then let's switch directions. And we'll be like, you're gonna be our age before you know it, so enjoy it. All right, so you can start to make these circles a little smaller. So you can kind of see how like weight is shifting to one sit bone then the other, but then that almost becomes imperceptible. As you find that place of center, you're rooting into both sit bones nice and even. As that happens, you're finding that length through the sides of your waist. Let's take the right arm in front. So holding with your hand, you can hook with an elbow. Kind of release that right shoulder blade down your back a lot. It wants to creep up around the ear, and you're going to be feeling a stretch across that bicep, tricep area. All right, so let's go ahead and just take this right arm up. So the palm is spinning to face behind you. You can actually take your left arm to kind of wrap the upper arm in. And then bend at that right elbow, and then you can take your left hand on top. You're gonna feel a nice, I'm getting a pretty good stretch here on the arm. You might feel it a little bit in the armpit area. So let's reach this left arm off to the side, and then the right arm off to the side. You're gonna give yourself a hug. Right arm is gonna come on top. So we're finding our eagle arms. You're gonna keep your spine nice and tall here. We're just gonna floss out the shoulder. So as you inhale, elbows lift. Exhale, they drop towards the belly button. So we'll do a few of these. And just moving with the breath. And then the next time those elbows are lifted, just stay there. So we're holding. You're still inhaling and exhaling through your nose. You're still pressing into your sit bones, lengthening tall through the sides of the waist. Good. As you inhale, take the arms out wide, maybe lean them back a little bit. You could even find a little lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling, so a little back bend here. Good. And then just come back to your nice, tall mountain pose, Tadasana. And we'll take that little sequence to the second side. So left arm comes in front. You can hold anywhere on the arm, really, with that right hand, and you can apply a little pressure. You can use the strength of that right arm to direct this left arm in towards your chest as much as possible. It's going to be different for all of us. You can also take this hooking with the elbow variation. Again, see if you can get that left shoulder blade to release down your back. And then you're just observing how this side feels. How is it different than the other side? So we spent a little time warming up the shoulder girdle. Now we're just getting into some deeper stretching, which will be nice as we move towards our downward dog. All right, so that left palm is facing towards the wall behind you. Just gonna lift that arm up. Good, and then you can just use your right hand to help wrap the outer arm towards the inner arm. Bend the elbow here. I start to feel this nice stretch. It's like on the inseam of the arm. And then press your right hand on top of that elbow. You can apply as much pressure as feels right for you. And several nice smooth breaths here. Good. So inhale, stretch the arms up and out, and then give yourself that hug. Left arm comes on top this time. So kind of grabbing the edges of the shoulders, elbows stack, and as you inhale, they lift up, but you keep your spine nice and tall. Exhale, elbows release towards the belly button. Inhaling, lifting. Good. Exhale, release. A few more of these. And just moving with your breath here. And then the next time those elbows are lifted, just stay here. Breath smooth and steady. And feeling some stretch, just noticing where that's happening in your body. Good, and then on your next inhale, you can take the arms out. Beautiful. Maybe give those shoulders one more little roll out here. So hopefully we've created a little flexibility in the shoulders. Let's go ahead and get into the neck a little bit deeper. So just sitting nice and tall in your mountain pose, you can make little adjustments here, kind of refresh the posture. But go ahead and start to allow your chin to drop towards your chest. And a lot of times this can be pretty intense. You're feeling all of that length in those muscles in the back of your neck. They get pretty tight. Good. As you inhale, bring your chin level to the floor. And then exhale, just release your right ear towards your right shoulder. As you're doing that, just imagining that somebody's gently pressing down on that left shoulder. So you might not be able to go very far. You're going to start to feel a lot of sensation and stretching in the left side of your neck. Some days this is super intense. We sleep funny, just extra stiff. Some days it's a lot easier. So you're not necessarily trying to change anything. Of course, we're trying to change things and open things up, but kind of just being good with where your baseline is and not worrying too much if it's not feeling as easy as it does some days. Okay, so from here, keep that right ear leaning towards your right shoulder, but start to tuck the chin a little bit. So you're angling it down and in, and that's just going to shift where you're feeling sensation on that left side. Notice if you've started to hold your breath at all, especially if there is a lot of tension in your neck. Keep that breath moving. Even visualize your exhale going to the spots that are tight. If you'd like to add another layer here, you could release your left fingertips towards the floor. So it's almost like you're using your own arm as a weight. And some days this is going to feel great. It's going to feel right. Some days it's going to feel like too much. So you can always just try it out. If it's not working today, you just go rewind a little bit. So final little move here if you want to start to lift, that left arm. Things definitely start to get interesting. So from here, let's spin our left palm to face up towards the ceiling. Release your right arm down. And we're kind of almost there already. We're just going to come into that little side bend, and maybe you want to lift your chin a little bit here. Look underneath that top arm. If it still feels good to have it tucked, if you're getting a nice stretch, you can stay there. So just explore a little bit. What does your body need right now? I'm finding lots of length on this left side. Shoulder blades are gently releasing towards your sit bones. Couple more breaths here. Good. And then as you exhale, release that left arm down. Hands come back to your thighs. And then dropping your chin towards your chest again. So second time being here. Is it feeling different yet? Good. Next, inhale, lift your chin. And then exhale, begin to drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And you're going to start to feel sensation many places, but probably especially on the right side of the neck, those scalene muscles. How is this side different? A little check in with your breath. Make sure that it's moving nice and steadily. And then from here, you can start to tuck your chin and observe how that changes the equation a bit. You can play with the idea of releasing your right fingertips down. And again, if it feels like too intense today, like too much, better to skip it. Last little piece here, if you want to play, with lifting that right arm. And almost get like some nervy sensation. You might be thinking, the nerve of my yoga teacher for making me do this. All right, so last little bit here. We can all release our left fingertips down. You can join us if you didn't lift that arm up, but go ahead and spin that palm up and then take it up and over. And again, you can just play with keeping the chin tucked for a few breaths, but eventually it might just feel really nice to open up, spin those left ribs up towards the ceiling. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. These look lovely. Nice little lateral side stretch. And let's take a deep inhale. And then exhale, release back to center. Give the shoulders another little roll out here. Good, and then let's come into a hip stretch with a little twist. So a couple of options here. From your mountain pose position, you can find a little external rotation of this right leg. Doesn't matter how far you go. Are kind of looking for the knee to land over the ankle. You can take your right hand and just press back a little bit if you want a little more stretch. Sometimes you don't need it. Just finding the initial position will be enough work. The other option here is to cross your right ankle above your left knee. You want to make sure that there's no sensation in your knee. Flexing the foot can help if you are getting any of that. And they're both getting outer hip. I would say this variation, I tend to get a little more stretch on the groin, the inseam of the leg too. So you can always, play with that if that's, if you're wanting to get more of that sensation on this leg, if that's something that you feel like you're needing today. We'll just be here for several breaths. Kind of giving the hip a little time to open up. They get really tight. Good. So from here, let's go ahead and inhale, stretch the arms out wide. Again, find that idea of muscle really firming to bone. So you're keeping the arms super active. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Really extend out. And then you're just going to release your hands down. So a lot of options here. Your left hand can be on your left thigh. That especially works well if you're in the shape that I'm in. If you have the right ankle crossed above your knee, that hand could really go anywhere on your shin. It might come to the outside of your right thigh. Trying to keep the spine nice and long. You're feeling a little lift of your sternum. There's a little sensation of up dog, of cobra pose in the upper body. Now you're using your hands to help you find a little leverage, to help you get that. You're moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Breath smooth and steady. Let's take one more deep inhale here. As you exhale, unwind, come to center. And let's take a forward fold here. So if you have a table or a wall or desk in front of you, that's great. If you have your blocks, you can forward fold. If you don't have props, if you're watching this on YouTube, no big deal. You can just keep your hands on your thighs. But sometimes having something in front of you can be nice. It just helps to bring the floor a little closer. And you just go to that place where things, again, start to get a little more intense. You keep that breath smooth and steady. You visualize that exhale going to the spots that are a little tight here. Good. On your next inhale, you can use your hands to help you press up. Beautiful. And then we'll move to our second side, which could look different. So you might be doing a different variation on this side. That's absolutely fine. Again, either find that hip opening, maybe using your hand to gently press that thigh back. If you need a little more, maybe crossing ankle. above that right knee, and then pressing down. And then just a good couple of moments here, just like marinating in this position. Maybe do a little like scan, especially of your upper body. So obviously the work is coming into this left hip, but have you started to clench your jaw, your fingers? Just soften the places that might be working that don't need to be. Really listening to that sound of your breath. It's your soundtrack. Good. So pressing into your sit bones wherever you're at, lengthening through both sides of your waist. Release your arms down by your sides. Inhale, stretch them out. So muscles engaging here. Deep inhale. And exhale, twist to the left. So really feeling those right ribs wrap to the left. And then again, just finding a place with that hand in front. Left hand is behind you. And you're just finding a little like leverage with your hands to help you press your shoulder heads back. Find this lift of your sternum. It's intense, but it's sort of like the kind of intense that feels really good. Nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, you unwind, come back to center. And then from here, we find that forward fold. So good. Not necessary to have props or anything in front of you, but it can be nice. It can just give you a little support. And certainly as you forward fold, while you're in a hip stretch, it definitely intensifies things. And so you're playing with finding your edge, being mindful not to go too far. Good. And then on your next inhale, you can start to roll on up. I lost my mic here, reattaching. All right, go ahead and make your way back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And let's just take a couple of breaths here. Close your eyes. Take stock of how your body is feeling. So as we've started to warm things up, hopefully it feels like you're sitting a little taller with more space in your spine. You might feel more strength. Perhaps there is a sense of ease. And then from here, let's blink our eyes open. So we're gonna come into our downward dog. So I'm gonna like readjust. So having an extra chair is really good, or you could use a table or a wall in front of you. And then also have if you have blocks at home, have those as well. So we're gonna incorporate some of our half sun salutes as we move towards our dogs as well. So you can just have those for your hands. Again, if you don't have them, not a big deal. And then when you're using your chair for your downward dog, a second chair, you kind of have the option of either having the back of the chair facing towards you or the seat of the chair. I'm good with either. I like to have my hands on the seat of the chair. It just feels like it gives me a little more space, which feels nice. So I'm gonna kind of place your hands on the chair just to find like that distance that you need. And you wanna make sure that the chair isn't gonna get away from you. And then once you've kind of found that place, you can come back to your nice tall seat. And you're landing with your knees approximately over your ankles. I'm gonna scoot my blocks forward a little bit. Let's inhale, take the arms out and up. As we exhale, we're gonna hinge forward, fold all the way in. You can use your hands to help you get there. So folding into an Uttanasana. We haven't been here, so let's just hang out here for a few breaths. Chin is dropping towards your chest. Back of the neck is letting go. The breath is smooth and steady. From here, you might push into your block, so you could bring your hands to your shins or thighs. You're getting that lengthening through the sides of your waist. Shoulders are squeezing in towards each other. Elbows are squeezing in towards each other. This is our Ardha Uttanasana shape, our half forward fold. Couple more breaths here. Exhale, you release back down. And then you can reverse swan dive out here using a little core. You could use your hands to help you press all the way up. Arms reach out and up. Maybe gaze up, maybe press palms. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. So let's just do a couple of those half sun salutes, one movement per breath this time. So arms released by your sides. Inhale, take up space as you reach out and up, or you could reach forward and up. Exhale, folding in, feeling nice and graceful, nice and fluid. Inhale, finding that lengthening forward. Exhale, folding back in. And then taking up space, rising up, lengthening through both sides of your waist. Beautiful. Exhale, hands return to heart center. Good, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Rooting down, taking up space as you rise up. Let's stay here. So start with palms facing in towards each other, arms maybe a little bit wider than shoulders distance, at least slightly. And then you're going to spin your palms to face forward. Firm muscle to bone. We've spent a lot of time doing that today. Hold on to that as you start to hinge forward and just gaze at your chair or your desk in front of you. And then you're going to really root down into the hands. So the thing that's nice about having a chair, something to press into, that does help us to activate the muscles in our arms. Your ears are between your biceps, that inner arm. You're pressing into your sit bones, and from that place of rootedness, you're lengthening. It's like you're telescoping your spine forward. And then you're just taking several breaths here, and this is absolutely a strong pose. All right, so we're going to move towards our forward fold again. So you can release one hand down to the floor or blocks. You can kind of hang, but then just let your chin drop towards your chest so you're in this Uttanasana shape. Good. Let's inhale, find that half forward fold shape. So palms might be pressing into your shins or thighs or blocks. Exhale, one breath, fold back in. And then inhale, rooting to rise up, take up lots of space. Holding here again. Arms a little wider than shoulder distance apart, and then spin those palms to face forward. Spread your fingers, activate the arms. Start to hinge forward, lengthening, 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 and then pressing into that chair, which will help you to fire up the arms even more. Can you find this idea of inner arm wrapping towards your outer arm? So you're widening across the backs of your shoulders. You're trying to create a little space for your neck. So you're not holding it. Again, ears are in line with your biceps. You're just gazing down at the floor, kind of maybe just slightly ahead of your toes. Breath is smooth and steady. As you press back into your sit bones, can you lengthen more through the sides of your waist? And then again, just release one hand down, then the other. Folding into your Uttanasana, chin towards chest, back of the neck lengthening. So in downward dog, like the more classic shape, when you're pressing into your hands and your feet, we'll often walk our hands back to meet our feet and vice versa. So we're kind of approximating that right now. So instead of coming back up into our extended mountain pose, start to extend your chest forward and then maybe lift one hand, then the other. So we're back in this downward facing dog. It's just fun to approach these postures, different ways of getting into them. And it can change how it feels. And then from here, place one hand on your thigh, then the other. So again, it's kind of like an Ardha Uttanasana shape, and then use the strength of your arms to press up to nice seat. Good work. So we have the chair. Let's just go ahead and use it to help us twist. So you might need to pull what you've got a little closer in front of you. So a few options here, a lot of different options. So let's go ahead and let's see, what side are we going to twist to first? So we're going to twist to the right. So option to leave your left leg exactly as it is. Actually, you can leave both legs as they are. That's fine. Maybe you extend your left leg to straight. And then, so this is going to work if you have a chair. If you have something else, it might not. So you'll just stay in this shape. But if you wanted to place your right heel on top of your chair. So these are like our Parsvottanasana legs, our pyramid pose legs. So kind of a twisting triangle shape is what we're going to be going for here. All right, so let's go ahead and take the arms out wide. Exhale, we're going to twist to the right, so really extending out. And then a couple of options here. So maybe you just take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. You use your chair again to help you twist. Perhaps you hinge forward and you can rest your forearm somewhere on that chair. And then backhand can be resting on the chair. You could even take your hand to your hip and you're kind of just drawing that shoulder back. So like lots of different ways to play with this. This is a really deep stretch in that outer right hip, hamstring, glute. Gaze could be down, it could be to the side, it could be up. Let's take one more deep inhale here. Good, and then as you exhale, you're just gonna unwind, and we're gonna take more of that classic pyramid shape. So you're folding forward, it's intense, so you kind of modify that by backing out of the forward fold as much as you need to. We're gonna give this several breaths. It's definitely one of those ones that it can be a little uncomfortable, a little challenging and confronting, but if you give it a little bit of time, you're gonna find that things start to release in your body, you find a little more space. Nice work. As you inhale, you can just start to press your way back up. And then you can bend that left knee if that leg was extended to straight. If you have that right heel on the chair, and release it down. We'll come into our second side. And again, it might look entirely different. So many ways to make adjustments here. So option to extend that right leg forward to straight if you would like. Left knee is either going to stay bent if you do have a chair and it works in your body to put your heel on said chair. You can take that variation. You're pressing into your sit bones. Arms come out wide. And then exhale. We twist to the left. And just being here for a couple of breaths feels really good. You might stay more upright. That might be plenty in your body. So you could just grab a piece of chair. Right hand leverages against that left leg somewhere. And this is plenty in and of itself. If you did want to play with forward folding and finding that extension, you're welcome to do that. I for sure notice that I start to feel more hamstring stretch, a little stretch behind that left knee, outer left hip, glute area. And another variation is just have your left hand on your left hip and you're kind of just wedging that left shoulder back as you try to wrap your right ribs up towards the ceiling. Parivrita Trikonasana. So this is a variation of our twisted triangle pose. Beautiful work. Let's start to unwind here. And then again, you can find any form of a forward fold here. And I think that this one is a doozy. I like it, but it's a lot. So keep breathing. Send your exhale to that outer left hip. And from here, you're going to start to make your way on up. Find your nice Tadasana, mountain pose. We are quickly running out of time. So we are going to go ahead and from here, just move into some of our 4-part breath, our box breath. So make sure that you're feeling like you have a nice, comfortable, easy seat. You can close your eyes. Let's take a smooth, full, deep inhale together. Full, complete exhale. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just encourage you to continue on your own here, modify. So stretch the breath out if you'd like. But just take several rounds on your own, exploring this 4-part breathing, which is really good breath to do if you're feeling anxious, can help to calm you down. When you feel complete with that, you're going to move into some form of Shavasana. Probably going to stay exactly where you are, but the feeling tone is going to be different. You're inviting in this sense of receptivity, surrender, a sense of relaxation. You're inviting the brain to start to assimilate all of the work that we just did in the body. Most importantly, you're kind of creating this bookend at the conclusion of our class. So kind of like making this transition as we move into the rest of the day ahead. Of course, you're always welcome to come into forward fold, like a supported child's pose or classic Shavasana, if that feels better to you and you have the space to accommodate that. And so let's just soak up these final still moments. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Take a deeper inhale. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go ha. And then just start to find a little gentle, easy movement in your body. Anything that feels good here. And you will eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. And you're sending yourself love and gratitude. You're sending your body love and gratitude. It's a gift to be able to work like this together. And just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, week, weekend ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today. Thank you.